Hey planner friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm planning from the 11th to the 17th of August in my Archer and Olive notebook, and this week I'm using Summer Nights from Plannerface. So the kind of pizza by the sea theme really fitted the Sunday of the week previous when I popped home for my birthday, but I wanted to use a birthday kit for this week, and I figured I was still down in Devon on the Monday of this week, so I could still use this one. As always, I have all of my stickers pulled out in my Plannerface reusable sticker album. Because I only have a mini kit this week, I have a couple of functionals that I've kind of colour matched, pulled out from my stash as well, in my other Plannerface reusable sticker album. And I have my planning notes in front of me. As always, I keep forgetting to say this, but I do PR for Plannerface, so you can use my code in the description to save yourselves a little bit of money and also pick up a freebie. But I think I've got everything ready, so let's get into the start of this spread. So I'm doing something a smidge different this week. I was off Monday, Tuesday, and then working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So my sidebar is kind of going to be in the middle, just to mix it up a bit, you know. So I think I'm going to use this orange flag. Okay, the flag's too big. I did this kind of teeny tiny space for my monthly script the week that I went to Nova Rock. So I figure it will still look cute. I might put some extra deco up there at some point. I'm not using any foil this week. I didn't really have a foil that I felt went with this kit, and you know, I'm not stressing out on trying to use foil all the time. It does bulk up my planner a bit. So I've pre-dated all of my date covers with dates version 2 from Plannerface, and I think that's all of the general jibber jabber out of the way. So as I said, this week I was down in Devon on the Monday, and then drove back on Monday afternoon. So I spent a lot of time in traffic because I'd forgotten that Boardmasters Festival was on the weekend that I was down. So it's like, oh, it'll be nice and quiet in my hometown because everyone will be in Cornwall, so we could like go to the beach and stuff. But then I forgot that they would also all trying to be getting home the same day that I was. So it was a little bit of a long day, but I was like, oh, shall I try and get away like really early in the morning and then possibly still get stuck in traffic, and then have to train when I get home? Or should I just do my original plan, which was to train a gym down at home where I did a competition a year ago, and then if I get stuck in traffic, then whatever I've already trained doesn't matter. So I went with I've already trained doesn't matter, and I had a really nice training session. Did like a double 60 kilo hang snatch, which is like 1 kilo under my best. And yeah, it was just a really, really nice training session. And on a Tuesday, Reggie had the dentist, so this was his big like dental surgery to get some teeth taken out, and that's all gone fine as well, and he's like fine. He doesn't really care. I mean, I think he's going to be a bit bothered when we start trying to clean his teeth a bit more assertively, but he did really well with the anaesthetic. He's like had all of his post-op checks now, so that was really, really good to see, because I was like, it's always a bit worrying when your like 10-year-old dog is having surgery. When I went back to work on Wednesday, I had probably the worst day I've had at work so far this year. I won't go too much into it because it's work stuff, but there will be swearing in my planner when I get to that day. And then, oh yeah, on the Friday of this week, My Chemical Romance tickets went on sale, and I think I did like the most efficient ticket mastering I've ever done. I was like in the waiting room at 9:30. I was like in the first 6,000 people in the queue for the Friday, and I got really good seats because from the videos I've seen online, it looks like a real spectacle of a show. So I want to be seated so that I can see what's happening. Yeah, this week, aside from like work being absolutely god awful, the rest of this week was really good. For full boxes, I think I'm going to use my double box on Saturday and Sunday. I think at the top, yeah. This kit, oh, also this week it was like another little heat wave, so using a beach kit really fits. It's giving warm vibes. I'm excited to start getting some autumn kits ready, but I'm not quite ready for that yet. For the fashion girl, I think I'm just going to pop her down the bottom of Monday. And then I use the Pizza by the Sea box on Tuesday. And then I'm going to make a little mini sidebar, not sidebar, in the middle. We'll have my habit tracker in there. And I wonder if we can fit one of these. No, that's going to be slightly too big. I think I might just try another bit of full box up there. Yeah, I'm just going to take this full box. Actually, I'll trim it off the planner. Just do a little measure. Okay, about 2 centimeters. So I've cut like a little chunk out of the middle of this box. Okay, cute. If we put it down a little bit straighter, it'll be even better. Okay, so that's the base of this spread. As I said, it's a little bit like wonky because my sidebar is in the middle, but I think this is looking really cute. Oh, I forgot my weekend banner, as always. Classic. Let's try not to rip it this week. Put it a little bit lower down because I will need a decent amount of space for my weekend. Okay, so there we go. So that is the base all laid down. Now we can get into my plans for the week. Okay, so starting on Monday, the first thing that I did was I had to drop off the tent and stuff that we'd used for Nova because Becca had got the train back home. I'd kept the tent at mine so that I could drive it down this day rather than her having to lug it through train stations and while walking. And then I went to a gym in my hometown called Winners and had a really good training session. So I'm going to mark that in kind of like I would team training because it wasn't just like training at home. In this session I did my hang snatch double at 60 kilos, which I was super happy about. And then I drove home and there was so much traffic. I don't want to put driving in too big because like I've got more interesting things to put in this day, but it took me like 2 and a bit hours to get home and it's supposed to be like an hour 40 drive. So it was a bit longer than I wanted. When I got home, I was playing with Reggie for a bit because I missed him. He stayed at home with my partner while I was down in Devon, and then I set up my new speaker. So I got a speaker for my birthday. I've got something really small to mark this in, so we'll just use another little thing, I guess. So I got a Bluetooth speaker for my birthday from my parents for using in the gym. Well, like the garage. So we set it up this day. To get it to connect to my computer, I had to download some, what's the word? New drivers, and my partner helped me. So at the end of the day, I was just playing some Baldur's Gate with Becca. That's actually too big. Wild. Did not expect that. Okay. At the end of the day, I was just playing some Baldur's Gate with Becca. And before I did that, I just went and got the groceries. I think this box specifically is from such an old Plannerface mini kit that it was like the vertical mini kits. where like the sheets were like set out vertically, not horizontally like they are now. And you got like mini full boxes. Because I used to find that specific sticker really handy for like fitting in gaps and like marking out certain amounts of time in my passion planner. A bit of a throwback there. But yeah, the way that that's just slotted in there, I'm like, oh my god, that's that box. Cool. So we've got that around a smidge as well. Get everything situated. Cute. Okay, so for dropping off the tent, I have a bit of deco from the kit, which is just kind of a blanket. And then for training at Winners, I have dumbbells version 2 and a snatch script, and then I'm going to put at Winners underneath. For my little PB, I have Squidge Feeling Strong, and then for driving, I have the car doodle from the kit. For playing with Reggie, I have a little toy from one of the like dog samplers, and then for setting up my new speaker, I have this speaker deco from the kit. For getting the groceries, I have this grocery doodle from the kit, and then for playing some Baldur's Gate with Becca, I have a computer doodle from Papershire. I just realised I pulled out this bit of deco to go like on my important thing for the week, which I'm not going to add in because I changed my sidebar around, so I'm going to put that up there. I think that looks cute. Okay, Tuesday. The big thing for today was that this was Reggie's dental appointment. So I had to drop him off early in the day, and I'm going to put that in big. I then had a little bit of a YouTube binge once I dropped him off, because it's like quite early in the morning. And then I did my training at home. Partner then went and picked up a rug doctor, because we were going to clean the carpet in our lounge because it was getting a bit, it's like the main thoroughfare of the house, so it was getting a bit grubby. And then I picked up Reggie and I took him to Pets at Home. I had to take him in a muzzle because he like picked stuff up off the floor and he just had dental surgery, but we also realised that we didn't have any of the like mushy food that we'd given him before, so I had to go get him some food that he could eat. It was then 32 degrees again, a bit much in my opinion. So this sticker must be from a monthly kit because it's a little bit long. Yeah, it was 32 degrees again. This, like I said, we had nice weather this week, but like 32 is a bit much for me. And then in the evening, I just had a bit of a lazy one. Oh, nice. I'm going to swap around the carpet cleaner and picking up Reggie and taking him to Pets at Home, just to make the what's the word, the colours a little bit more even. Yeah, so I helped with doing some of the carpet cleaning, and then when I went back to work on the Wednesday, my partner did a lot more of it. It's not perfect, but it looks better. So for Reggie's dental stage 2, I have this Lottie at the Vets from Stick with the Plan Co. For my YouTube binge, I have the TV doodle from the kit. For training, I have another dumbbells version 2 and a clean custom script from Plannerface. For picking Reggie up, I have this leash doodle from the Plannerface, and then I have the vacuum doodle from the kit for picking up the rug doctor and starting to clean the carpet. I then have Squidge saying it's so hot, so cleaning the carpet in like 32-degree heat was not fun, but we did it. And then I just had a lazy evening, so I have a bit of deco from the kit. Okay, on Wednesday, I was working in the office this day. I was the only person of my band on site, and I obviously had just had like a week off, but like half of this week and half of the previous week. And someone tried to argue with me about how we should be treating a sample. And the person that was trying to argue with me was incorrect. And also didn't have any of the didn't have all of the information. So I don't know why they were deciding to argue with me about this. Don't know why they decided this was the hill they were going to die on, but yeah, so that's enough of that. When I got home, I just laid down and just scrolled on my phone for a bit to try and kind of decompress from all that. And I had a bit of a YouTube binge and an early night. Without going into too much detail, the section that I work in, everything is urgent, pretty much. And you don't mess with urgent samples. So yeah, I was fuming. So I have this Lottie, that's not Lottie, this Vanilla whose head is on fire. And then I have this Squidge who's screaming into a pillow. I then have a Vanilla, this is from the bedrock sheet that I bought recently, and it fits perfectly. And then I have a bit of deco for my YouTube binge, which is a bit big, but whatever. And then a pillow doodle from the kit for my early night. On Thursday, I was working from home, so I didn't have to, well, I was kind of dealing with the fallout, but like virtually now, so I didn't have to see anyone. We then had a checkup for Reggie. Actually, I need to use a different colour. Yeah, so working from home, we then had a checkup for Reggie. Let's put that down really wonky now. So with the like dental treatment that he had, you have like a 2 or 3 day post-op check and then a 10-day post-op check. So this was his 2-day post-op check, and it was all good. He was happily eating his mushy food. He even like let us look at the extraction sites, which he didn't with the first one. So he's clearly feeling like his mouth felt better, which I felt bad that he might have like been feeling like really bad before. After we'd had Reggie's checkup and after work, I had a physio appointment. So I've had a ongoing wrist injury for a bit, and this is when my physio was like, oh, well, if it's still not getting better, we might just send you for like a MRI or something. I was like, okay. And then, you know, if they find anything that's wrong, they can just open you up and fix it. And I was like, excuse me, what? You can't just casually be mentioning surgery at like 5:55 on a Thursday, and it has been getting better recently though, so I'm hoping that when I go back in a couple weeks, well, it's like 8 weeks from when I'm recording this, I'm hoping that she's not going to be like, okay, well, I'll refer you to orthopedics. She still might, but then hopefully they'll be able to just do some imaging and not open my wrist up. So work today was still a bit full on because I was kind of dealing with the fallout from the day before, so I have another Vanilla who's overwhelmed. For Reggie's appointment, I have a little paw print doodle from the kit. For physio, I have a physio Vanilla. And then this evening, I just played some Sims, so I have Squidge. I was also going to put in that I watched Dark History, but we just have Sims. Okay, on Friday, I was working from home. No, I was working in the office. And this day was the day that My Chemical Romance at Wembley tickets went on sale, and I had to get them. I haven't missed a My Chemical Romance tour in the UK since 2006. One of the junior lifters from weightlifting told me yesterday was the year they were born, and I was like, thank you so much for that. So let's mark this in a bit bigger because it was like a super important part of today. So yeah, I managed to get the tickets and it wasn't too stressful. I did have to awkwardly ask my manager, so my manager is an absolute star, but I was like, hey, we've got a meeting at 9:30 and My Chemical Romance tickets go on sale at 10. Can I leave the meeting to get my tickets? And she was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So I sat in like the waiting room and the queue whilst in a meeting, like an in-person meeting, and then I was just like, excuse me for a minute, as like I was getting to the front of the queue and went out and sat in the break get out area and bought my tickets. I was quite tired after this. Yeah, so it's recorded in like the recording of this meeting, me leaving, and then it was put in the any other business part of the meeting at the end, being like, did Natalie get her tickets? Yeah, so when I got home, I was really tired because that's like, Ticketmaster stresses me out, and I think it stresses a lot of other people out too. So I was going to put Baldur's Gate Rebecca and Having Drinks at Home, but I think I will put those both on one half box because they are basically happening at the same time. And I don't think I can fit it in on two smaller boxes. So again, work was busy again this day, but I did get my tickets. Oh, I got my tickets, and then in the afternoon, I got yelled at by 2 midwives on the phone. Yay. And then I have Lottie. I figured this was the closest to the like Black Parade outfit that I have a sticker of. So I have Lottie, and then I have another Lottie who is exhausted. And then for gaming, I have Vanilla. And then for drinks at home, I know, well, I've just realised this is going to be right next to the wine that's in this full box, but I don't care. So that was my Friday. Moving on to Saturday. Okay, I don't have a little thing. This was mine and my partner's 11-year anniversary. We don't really do much for our anniversary because it's like right after my birthday. So I'm just marking that in. I have this like mini swatch. I don't know where it's from, but I've run out of little things in this colour. Would I have that? I think this might be better. Okay, it's from a monthly again. Go down. Cool. And then I did my memory planning in the morning. Yeah, so we don't really do much for our anniversary because it is like right after my birthday, and we've usually done quite a few fun things for my birthday. I then went to team training. Oh, I've already used the square box. I've got an idea. Okay, I made it a little bit thinner. I'm not sure I love it, but it's done now, so it's staying there. On this day, I then did a front squat double PB, and I tried for a front squat PB, but I was like toasted. So I did a 100 kilo front squat double PB. I'm very happy with that. When I came back from training, I just had a bit of a YouTube binge again. And then me and Becca played some Baldur's Gate. And I'm putting that in a bit smaller, and then because I've got a big sticker for the thing at the end of the day, which is just that we had a lazy evening, but it was like really, really warm. It's one of the reasons that we like stopped gaming, was because it was getting too hot in our office. Because 2 gaming PCs going at the same time kicks out a lot of heat, which is great in the winter, not so great in the summer. Okay, I technically, well, not technically, but in theory I should move the half box that I cut down, but I'm not. I'd probably cut out the amount of time it took me to line that up, but it was long, so I'm not going to pick it up again. So for our anniversary, I have the heart balloon doodle from the kit. For memory planning, I have the planner doodle from the kit. For team training, I have a vanilla and a custom team training script from Plannerface. And then have Squidge feeling strong. And for my YouTube binge, I just have a bit of deco from the kit. For playing some Baldur's Gate, I have this D20 vanilla. And then for our lazy evening, but it also being too hot, let's just move the weekend banner a smidge, I have Lottie with a fan, being too hot. Okay, moving on to Sunday. I started off this day with my Sunday reset, and I've used both the stickers. No, I haven't used both of them. So I can use this one for my little Sunday reset. So just tidying up, doing a little bit of cleaning, folding some laundry, I then did my editing, so I'll use a quarter box for that. I then did some of my level 2 weightlifting course. So I've just got the assessments to do now. I've done all of the like online stuff. I just hadn't had time to like sit down and do it for a bit, so I feel like, well, I smashed it. And then the majority of this day we were out in the garden. We had some garden work to do, and because of like birthday stuff and how busy we've been recently, the garden had just got a bit overgrown, so me and my partner smashed through a bunch of gardening and then sat outside to enjoy the tidy garden. And then yes, we sat outside for a bit. At the end of the day, I was going to put in that I have a me time, but I don't know how well that's going to fit. I might just put in that we played some Baldur's Gate. Cool. So for my Sunday reset, I'm using the cleaning bucket doodle from the kit. For editing, I have the laptop doodle. For my weightlifting course, I have these like kind of books and study. I think it's from a paper shire sampler, so I'm not 100% sure what it's called. And then have Bonilla doing some gardening, some deco from the kit, and then ending the day with Squidge gaming. Okay, so I didn't end up using as many of these stickers that I pulled out as I thought I would. Like, I'd rather have loads left over than have to hunt through reusable sticker albums when I don't want to be doing that. But that is all of the stickers laid down for the week. I'm super happy with how this has turned out. I thought it might look a little bit weird with the Monday situation, but actually, because it all kind of just fits in the columns and looks fairly normal, I think it's pretty cute. I'm gonna go fill all this in and I'll be right back. So here's the spread all filled out, and I'm super happy with how this is looking. As I thought, the Monday does kind of look a little bit weird now it's all filled out, but I think you can still tell what's going on in the spread. Annoyingly, I wrote work from home on this day that I was definitely in the office, and I didn't have another sticker that I could swap in for it, but I will get over that. But that is everything for this video, friends. If you made it this far in the video, leave me a wine emoji in the comments. But if you have any other comments or questions, leave them in the comments down below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!